Thank you for joining Intellipaat's live webinar. Today's webinar is on data science, and we have Mr. Path with us. He is our senior data science trainer and has over 7 years of experience in data science. He is here to share his knowledge with us. So let's welcome Mr. Path.
Okay, guys. So let's start off with the session. Okay. In today's session, we'll be learning data science. Okay. So the first thing that we will speak about is the agenda of today's session, where we'll be talking about need for data science, where, how, and why data science is such an important discussion in today's world. Okay. After that, we'll be talking about the application of data science, where exactly it is being used and how exactly it is being used in terms of bringing value towards a particular company, all those things. Okay, next thing, we are trying to understand and build a particular way in which we can establish a programming language that can be implemented for data science. And finally, we'll be talking about the data types operators in R. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about what exactly do you mean by data. Everywhere there is, let's say, terabytes of data being generated in every company. Okay, each and every company generates about a trillion terabytes of data every day. Okay, so what exactly do you mean by this data? Okay, generally, when it comes to any sorts of data is strictly recognized as some sorts of information. Okay, it is not stipulated to any needs, it is not stipulated to any particular structure. Anything can be data. Okay, it can include words, numbers, characters, strings, time frame, observations, records, information, measurements, anything. Each and everything can be regarded as a particular data. Okay, and now what do you understand by the term data science? Okay, many of you might have heard this term, but generally when it comes to establishing an understanding with respect to what exactly do you mean by data science, that is different over here. Okay, data refers to information. Data refers to the idea of the knowledge, or let's say basically some sorts of information. Okay, and what is the understanding of data science is bringing some information about the data what we have. Okay, so basically we are trying to get some insights of data. Okay, the question is what sorts of insights. Okay, the data is generated as per as what the idea behind the collection actually is. Okay, a company with respect to a particular days, we will generate any data. Let's say the customers data, employees data, any data. Okay, the data is generated as per as our need. But now again, why do we call it as science? Okay, with that data, with the data that we have collected, with the data that we have generated, bringing some insights out of that data is pretty much important. Okay, so to be speaking, yeah, just to define data science, we can call data science as a field of study with an enormous amount of data using with enormous amount of data that can be used with the help of cutting edge tools and methods to uncover hidden patterns or gather some useful information. Okay, these things directly depend upon the business or the target approach. Okay, this depends upon different business, different cases, different scenarios. Each and everything with respect to data science is generated in accordance to a target. It can be an approach, audience, or a project, or a particular business case scenario. Okay, this is the idea behind data science. So basically data science is where we try to extract some useful insights from variety of tools from the data that is available. Okay, the next thing is the need. Okay, why exactly do we have a concern with respect to data science? Okay, to give you an insight, the amount of data that is being generated in our day-to-day life is pretty much enormous. Okay, even not even 10% of that data is being used in terms of analysis. Okay, 90% of data is generally dumped without using it. Okay, so the use case of a data science is to generate insights of the data what we have, and with that insights bringing some useful decisions out of it, such that it will bring some information or insights that will bring profit or economy to the company. Okay, so the need of data science is pretty much very much, starting from making strategic decisions, enhancing the ROI in business, understanding customer mindsets. So how exactly you can get customer mindsets with respect to the available data, if that is the question? So we can generate a particular algorithm to create an understanding how the generated data is concerning with respect to different needs. So definitely there will be tens of different customers, and we can stipulate certain rules and regulations such that we can get an idea behind, let's say for an example, between different classes of ages, we can try to get an idea that what exactly they are trying to fetch. Okay, and also let's say one more example, if at all we classify the customers based on a region, that may again get you some insights about the overall required materials or required things that they might fetch for. Okay, so meet customer demands, probably one of the most important reasons behind data science, to find out where exactly is the strength, overall strength being extracted with respect to a particular need. Okay, so different customers, different regions, different scenarios will have different needs. So based on the data available, we will be able to fetch the information with respect to which we can decide where exactly is the overall demand of customer lies. Okay, next thing, personalized buying experience. Okay, we can also personalize the experience based on the available data which is recorded. Okay, and accordingly we can delight the customer's overall experience. Okay, these are some examples that you can think of as a need for data science. Okay, next thing is life cycle of data science. Okay, the first thing whenever it comes to data science is we have to understand where the data is generated, how the data is managed, and how exactly we will bring some insights in our data. Okay, this is how we do. So the first and foremost thing is to find out the problem behind collecting the data. Okay, we are trying to figure out what is the need or what is the idea behind finding out the overall collection of data, why exactly we are collecting the data. There will be some target on basis of which we'll try to extract the data. Next thing will be processing and exploring the data. Okay, processing and exploring the data. So what do you mean by processing is we will try to use the data that is being collected, and we will try to fetch some idea behind it such that the entire data's constraints are visible to us. Okay, now the processing may include a variety of needs as such as statistical idea behind it, or also to get an idea behind the overall strengths and weaknesses with respect to the data points, and so on. Next thing is, after making sure Even let's say even to manage the null values, outliers, all these are a scenario for processing and exploring the data. Next thing is analyzing the data. Okay, here is where we try to abstract the process data and try to figure out what are all the insights from which we can extract. Okay, analyze the data is pretty much the concern with respect to which we are exactly speaking terms of the data science. Okay, we can also, if at all machine learning is built on it, we can also predict the further or of future data that is being used in data science. And finally, after analyzing the data with respect to the need, we will try to consolidate the results as per as the requirement is supposed to fulfill. Okay, so this is the basic life cycle, starting from framing the problem statement, processing the data, analyzing it, and to further consolidating the results. Okay, and next thing, we will talk about individual in a brief manner. Yeah, so let's talk about the framing the problem statement. So the reason why we are extracting the data is with respect to the problem statement. Okay, we are trying to frame a question with respect to which the data is being modeled. Okay, and after the problem is built, we will try to solve it, and accordingly also collected with reference to that only. Okay, so basically here we are trying to figure out what exactly is the problem statement. On the basis of, we will try to use, or on the basis of that we will try to figure out how exactly the data can be nurtured. Okay, so processing the data, here the data is processed. Why is the data need to be why is the data why is the data required to be processed? If that is the thing, we have to understand that the data will never be of a uniform format. So always, whenever we are learning data science, understand that only if the data is in sorts of a manner or structured in terms of the results, then only we will be able to process the data. Okay, in terms of processing, we do a variety of things. Okay, we try to process the data to avoid all the outliers, to make sure that there are no null values, and the data is structured in accordance to that. We can send it to building the model. Okay, in this case we also have data exploration as well, where we will try to explore the insights of the collected data. Okay, which may lead to solve a particular problem. Okay, next thing is that we analyze the data. Okay, now here we might use a variety of methods to find out what exactly is the overall strength and weakness of data, and what is the overall analysis that we can bring from the data. Okay, here the data after being processed is built in such a way that we will be able to get some insights that can draw a visible characteristics of the data. Okay, finally we will consolidate the results. Why is this an important step? After finding out the analysis that you have brought up with respect to a particular problem statement and the collected data, here is where we will try to forecast the results of the analysis that we have performed with respect to a particular data. Okay, here is where we try to showcase that what exactly is the outcome of the analysis, what exactly is the reason, what exactly was the goal of a particular analysis according to the problem statement and the available data. We will try to match it with respect to the results what we have got, and accordingly it can be understood and analyzed in a same way. Okay, And one of the important features to discuss is with respect to the applications of data science. Okay, very important aspect where we can see the use case of data science in a variety of cases. Okay, so if at all you want to know where exactly the data science is pretty much used, it starts with in search engine. Okay, the question is how exactly it is used in search engines. So let's say you are looking for a particular appliance, electronic appliance in your browser. Okay, that let's say considered to be as Google. Okay, and while you're searching it in the browser, there will be certain data that will be stored and passed on to variety of websites and availability zones, such that it will get you similar results, similar ads that you are exactly searching for. Okay, how exactly this is done? Based on the search options, based on the things that you have searched recently, that data will eventually be used for the analysis where you might search for a particular use case with respect to which an appliance can be showcased for you as an ad. Okay, that will in turn help that company who has got a particular product sold with respect to the ad as well. Okay, the next thing is in finance. Okay, many of you might have noticed that there is a spam detector in every Gmail, right? How exactly that spam is detected? Okay, so there are variety of things that can be discussed with respect to that. Okay, so in that case, many of the results that is asked with respect to the spam detection can be used there also. Okay, and there are certain features where you can also find out whether a particular credit card transaction is a fraud or not with respect to the previous transaction that you have seen. That also can be used. Okay, in finance there are a variety of things apart from that also, even with respect to the overall credibility of the score. All those things are an aspect that can be used in finance with respect to data science. Okay, in transport, one of the uh, upcoming technology with respect to self-driving cars, okay, which is an AI, which is a part of machine learning that comes under data science. Okay, that is also one of the big booming technologies with respect to which it can act as a huge advantages with respect to the transport. Okay, where self-driving cars are known as the revolutionary products that can bring a huge change with respect to the transport as well. In e-commerce as well, where the scenarios with respect to which we can figure out where will be the upcoming dip of a particular stock, where exactly we have to invest, where exactly we can add overall justice to a particular scenario, where exactly we can bring some profit with respect to the company. All these things can be taken care in terms of e-commerce as well. Okay, so these are the few applications of data science. Okay, and here we talk about introduction to R. What is R? R is a programming language that is used for statistical analysis as well as used for data visualization. And very effective in terms of data science. Okay, R is accessible on every popular operating systems including Windows, Linux, Mac, and so on. Okay, R gives you an edge with respect to implementing data science in the most simplest way, and also there is no prerequisite of knowing any sorts of programming language. Okay, the idea behind R was to make sure that there is no dependency of anything with respect to requirement of any sorts of data analysis tool. So R acts as a very, very important and also very, very easy and simple programming language that can be used for entire data science, that can include machine learning as well as artificial intelligence. Okay, and finally we will talk about R Studio. Okay, R Studio is a IDE, which stands for integrated development environment. Okay, that acts as a user interface to implement R. Okay, R Studio is an exceptional IDE to implement R. It has a variety of different panes or panels that gives you a use case not like any other. Okay, it has different panes for different use case. It has windows for plots as well. It has environment variable with respect to which you will get an idea about the different variables that has been discussed and used over the time. Okay, and finally let's talk about the data type scenario. So what is data types? Data type is nothing but what exactly is the type of data. Okay, what exactly is the showcase or a structure of data. Okay, so there are multiple data types in R. Basically data type is nothing but a data structure on basis of which the data is stored. Okay, it starts with numeric type, integer type, complex type, character type, and logical type. Numeric type is nothing but the floated point data where the decimal form of data is stored. Integer is where the integer part of the number is being considered and the other is left out. Complex data include multiple forms of data that include a special character as well, and character data types are the ones with respect to which only alphabetical data is stored. Okay, and finally we have something called as logical data types. Logical data types are pretty much used to find out the relationship, checking out the loops, also checking out the segmentation, and also making sure whether a particular condition is satisfied or not. So there is a variety of use cases with respect to logical data types. So these are the simple data types that are available in R that can be used in the entire programming language to build up any sorts of logic out of the code project. Okay, so these are the things that you need to know with respect to data types: numeric data types, complex data types, integer data types, logical data types, and character data types. So this is Pat signing off. Do stay intact with Intellipaat for upcoming videos and also subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.